Welcome to Book Selfie. You just tuned yourself to the coolest place to buy your books to read and listen. It is the site where readers find the niftiest books, awesomest stories from the coolest authors. It is the place that books a lot.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Books on Fire, live book sales. We are coming at you live from beautiful Austin, Texas. Just want to let you know that this is a Book Selfie production and it is syndicated live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and of course from our site www.bookselfie.com/live. Just memorize that link. If not, I'm going to make you memorize it anyway because I'm going to say it for like millions and millions of times. So here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. We have quite a few awesome books that we are going to be featuring today. Our main goal is to make you aware of these awesome books so that you can actually own them and enjoy them forever. So to do that, with an enjoyable shopping experience, here is how we design our program for you. Sometimes the author of the book will join us and talk with us about her book or his book. Sometimes we'll have a professional reviewer joining us, and sometimes we'll even have the reviewer and the author joining us. So, different kind of buying experience, eh? That's how we prepared it. So it definitely beats the going through those thumbnails and trying to select a book to read. Yes. So as a reader, you just need to go to bookselfie.com/live where you live, see the books that we are featuring today, and you're just going to have to buy them. Once you purchase your books, download the Book Selfie app, log in with the same credentials that you use on our site, and the books will simply show up on your app to read it. We call that the Book Selfie magic, right? By the way, if you just scroll down to the footer of our site, you will see the link to download our app. Easy peasy. I can't say the rest of it because I think it's politically incorrect now. Easy peasy. That's where you stop, nowadays. So today we are going to start with a thriller, follow it with a nonfiction book. Then we are going to jump over to another genre, thriller, adventure, fiction. We're going to have a break, tiny break. We are then going to insert a little children's book. And next up, sci-fi again. After that, got to do a little horror. You got to do a little horror. And we are going to end the show with an awesome historical fiction. So, ladies and gentlemen, our first book is, let me grab that. And I have been warned not to use my middle finger when I'm showing the books. And I can see her, she's laughing. She caught me. So, ladies and gentlemen, Germs of War by Keaton Desai. The short bio of this author says, a physician, entrepreneur, and writer who predicted 9/11. So, how do you like that, huh? Actually, he is with us. And he wrote this book, Germs of War. I don't know how fiction or nonfiction it is, but again, he's online. Let me just get him online here. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Hello, Desai.
Hello, everyone.
Keaton Desai, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make sure that everything is showing here. Okay, so I need you to sell me this book and sell me and the rest of the world. What's the hook? Why do we have to buy this book? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so this is a very fast-paced action thriller that I wrote in 1999. It talks about the Afghan-based terrorist groups who launch attack on the U.S. The only difference between what happened and what is in the book is that in the book they use biological agents. And like I said, it's extremely fast-paced action thriller. It has got international intrigue with two terrorist groups from Pakistan and from Afghanistan coming into the US. It's got renegade CIA agents. It has got the US military, and of course, your pacifist in the Pacific Northwest who's whitewater rafting through the Wyoming Snake River. And then the actual action of the developing of the biological weapon takes place at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. So it's got a lot of medical stuff in it. It's got science, it's got international intrigue, it has got politics, and of course it has a lot of chase scenes, if you like chase scenes.
Uh-huh. So it's a lot of there's a lot of medical stuff just because I guess we are a physician. That's why.
That's right. Yes, I'm an immunologist by training.
Okay, awesome. Where are you located, by the way?
I'm
sure
in
people want to
Pennsylvania.
know. Where?
In Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. You're pretty close to Washington, D.C.,
Yes.
political. Yes, that's awesome. So, awesome. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, so all you have to do is go to booksafi.com/live and purchase this breathtaking thriller written by, right here, I'm going to make it closer, Keaton Desai. Here you go, right here. And download the app, and there you have it. You have a non-stop reading spree. Thank you. Thank you very much. Uh-huh. Okay, we're back. And let's put this book on the floor, and let's just keep on going. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take you to the other side of the book category. That was a fiction book. Now we're going to talk about nonfiction. The name is right here. Let's do this. Oh, how about this? Taming the Brain. And then the name of the author is Chris Kyle. He was on the show last week, and I gave him praises for being a successful business owner, business and personal coach with his 30 years of expertise and know-how. You have to know these things. And this week, he is with us to talk about the second book of the 3 he has published from his 15-book series. So the series has 15 books, but he just published 3 of them. This is the second book, and I am going to put him online right now. Hold on. Hello, Chris.
Hello. Great to see you. So this book is called Taming the Brain. So Gerhan just said there's a 15-book series in the works. These are all key disciplines and practices that I teach regarding dramatic growth that sticks, transformational level growth that really sticks. And to be honest with you, the most important out of the 15 is today's topic, Taming the Brain. So maybe when you think back, sometimes it just seems like our brain runs away with us, and we get anxious or stressed out or worried or can be reactive. Everyone's been in an argument, at least at some point in your life, with someone where it accelerates to the point that you say and do things you would never say, as we say in our quote, right mind. So all of us have the potential for reactivity and defensiveness. Those are survival instincts that are wired in us. The instincts are not going to go away. However, most of us want to be able to have peace. We want to be able to have calm. We want to be able to be healthy, have our brains working well, have our rational thoughts working, but also be connected emotionally. And to do that is easier said than done. So I've been teaching this for a long time. And what I've done, I mean, I have a 20-hour course on breath work and mindfulness, 20 hours. I did a transcript of it. It was way over 100,000 words. So how many people are going to read that? Not many. So what I wanted to do was boil the basics down to the bare essentials that will get you on the track of creating results. I call a combination of breath work and mindfulness, which is what this book gets into in a very simple, powerful way. But I call that like the oil in the engine of change. It's the secret sauce. If you want to create sustainable change that sticks and you're not practicing breath work and mindfulness, good luck. I don't see it happen hardly ever. This is what allows all the efforts to develop new habits work. It's really about, from a neuroscience point of view, it's about how to create new neuron pathways that are rooted in staying present and calm in the middle of triggering stimuli. Because usually we just get caught up and we react. We get triggered. Fight, flight, freeze, or just even maybe less intense than that, but stress, all these different things. So this is like a 2-hour read, hour and a half, 2-hour read. I promise you that if you go through it and practice it, it will work. I've taught it so much to so many people. I know what works, what doesn't work. I put all the basics that have to be in place, and only the basics that need to be in place to produce this kind of powerful result. So mindfulness is all the rage today. There's a million people who teach breathwork, et cetera. They're all over social media everywhere. And the problem is sometimes it's sort of an incomplete package of awareness and information in order to be able to know how to really pull it off so it sticks. I lowered my blood pressure 20 points doing these practices. 20 points on the top number. Only change I made was breath work and mindfulness. Sometimes we get stuck in mindsets and it's just so difficult to get out of them. The key is allowing the rational side of your brain to fully collaborate with the emotional side of your brain. That's what I call taming the brain. And when they're in harmony with each other, we feel, we connect, we have joy, we can have anger, but we know what to do with it, and we can be at peace and calm at the same time. And that is an amazing thing to pull off. I'm endlessly in love with the principles of mindfulness and breath work put together. And I promise you, this 2-hour read, this simple book, if you read it and it has the practices in it that really develop a foundation and start practicing them on a regular basis, doesn't have to be for long periods of time, you will start developing the capacity to respond well, even in very difficult circumstances, stay calm and at peace, even when normal circumstances would cause you to be upset, uptight, have an overall sense of well-being, better physical health, better mental health, better sleep, unbelievable impact on my sleep quality. And all of that is here in this little book. If you practice it, read it, practice it, and go for it, it works. I've done it with thousands of people. And when people do it, it works. Well, so that's what it's about. I wanted to boil it down so anybody could read it and get going. So maybe you've wanted to do that and just never got in the path of having it be a regular habit. This is designed for you. 1.5, 2-hour read, start practicing it, and you're off to the races. It works every time people practice it. An amazing.
I guess after 30 years of experience, you can say that, right?
Yeah, it works for me, and it works for people I teach it to that apply it.
Okay, awesome. Any other words that you would like to add?
That's just it. I mean, what do you got to lose? A couple hours.
A couple of hours. Yes, that's right.
The upside sounds ridiculous. When I say it could do this, that, and the other, it's like, oh, come on. Nothing will do that. All I can tell you is what it did for me. It's what it's done for all sorts of people that I've been teaching to for a long time that apply it. And all that experience, I took the things that absolutely need to be in place. So if you're one of those people who are just like, tell me what to do, be quick about it, don't give me a bunch of unnecessary stuff, and I'll get her done, this book was written for you.
This is for you. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Chris.
You're welcome.
And all you have to do is just go to booksafi.com/live and get the book, download the app. And as the author himself said, 1.5 to 2 hours of a read, and it's all good. Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Let me get you offline. And just wanted to add one more thing here. Well, he's offline, but I'll add it in the meantime, though. If you like to get more information on Chris's services, all you got to do is just go to his website, chriskyle.com, and drop him a note. Before you know it, you will be on your way, on your path, let's just say, to success with sustainable growth and everything else that he mentioned. It's only, what, hour and a half to 2 hours of a read. That is awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going on to the next book. And right here that we are going to talk about, and her book, we have previously featured two of her books actually. And even though we tried to connect with her on our show, I am sure you are seeing her name here. We just couldn't do it due to various reasons, but she's here with us. That's for sure. Okay. The name of this book is Headwaters, and I want to show you the books from the previous weeks. Oh, right here. I always miss it. Let's just do this. Okay. These are the books that we previously featured last week and the week before. So I am going to get her online. Let's see this. She was so excited. She overcame all the technical issues and everything else. And finally, we connect. Right, Nancy?
Right. It's been a struggle due to my technological stupidity.
Okay, so I am going to say the same thing to you as I say to everybody. Go ahead, sell us the book and tell us the hook.
Okay. You're almost lucky that you missed my last two adventures, because this is actually the first book in the series, and you should start with this one. The series is the Relentless River series, and the metaphor is a river that's of life that starts, of course, with headwaters. Headwaters is the beginning of a river and the beginning of life's adventures. And this starts out with a pivotal event in a young man's life that goes on through the series. Had this not happened, people would have died. People would not have been born. Many things occurred because of a very modest, forgettable life instance that takes place in the first chapter of this book. Okay, a little bit about the book. What I write are psychological suspense thrillers. And this is the beginning of this series. This is the story of two brothers that have been influenced by something in the past that has totally traumatized them and changed their lives and into the future, many people's lives forever. The two people are Sam Thomas, a young man, and his older brother, Paul. Mm-hmm. The boys were both orphaned when their father was killed. He was a military engineer and was killed when Saddam Hussein's forces attacked Kuwait. Okay, they were little boys back then, and the series begins when they are now in their late 20s, early 30s, and something traumatic happened somewhere in their past. The older brother, Paul Thomas, who on the surface has managed to have a very successful life as a college professor, was unfortunately responsible for their mother's death, their only remaining parent. Okay. You can imagine that it caused a lot of anguish for both boys, but the death was due and caused by, inadvertently, an accident that precipitated their mother's death. The older boy feels deep guilt over this. The younger boy blames him for the death of his mother. And that goes on at the beginning of the series and the beginning of the book. So,
that's
all
the
right.
hook.
The book Headwaters. Remember, the headwaters of the river, headwaters of
We
many,
have,
many people's lives.
yes, we have the Earth's Backbone and Becomes a Horseman. Those are the two that we featured.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is the first one. Which one is the second one? Go ahead and tell people.
The second book is Becomes a Horseman, and
Uh-huh.
that goes on with the older brother's life after it was developed in the first book.
Okay. And
Okay.
what about
All right.
this one? Oh, this one.
The characters throughout the series, we don't have the same main character.
Oh,
But
okay.
you will fall in love with these characters and identify strongly with them, and they're carried on throughout the series. We just have a different main protagonist. By the time we get to the third book, which is The Earth's Backbone,
Earth's Backbone.
the whole series is now taking place in Montana. And I involve characters from the Blackfeet Native American nation. And this all begins in Headwaters also. So it's very advantageous to you as a reader to get caught up in the series by reading this first book, Headwaters. As a writer, this is a second career. I was a physical therapist for 35 years and a clinic manager. When I retired, I had no intention of becoming a writer. Had an idea I woke up with, and it changed the next 12 years of my life. So you can go along with my journey. And part of the wonderful thing about being a writer is that you get to do book research. And I'm known for several things, but the depths of my book research is one of them. I knew that I needed Blackfeet characters beginning in Headwaters. So I cultivated a young woman on the Native American reservation, and she was well educated and agreed to help me edit the books. I've had several editors throughout the years. One is my main editor, who's gone all the way through the series with me. But this young lady, whose name happens to be Margie Yellow Kidney, lives on the reservation in Montana.
Awesome.
And she and I have become very close friends. I'm probably the first white person she's ever known in depth, and she certainly is the first Blackfeet Native American I've ever known. She's been generous enough to integrate me with her family, both successful family members and members of the family who struggled. So when you read my books, you will learn something too.
Okay.
How am I doing, Gurhan?
Okay, you're doing good. You're doing good. But I have a question for you. I know you're an award-winning author, and
Right.
I'm getting confused. I'm thinking, and I can't remember if it was this book or the one of the other two. Which book was that?
The first and most major award was the Nancy Pearl Award, and it was on the second book, Becomes a Horseman.
Becomes a Horseman.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was extremely privileged. The Pacific Northwest Writers Association has thousands of people. It's one of the largest publishing writers organizations in the country. And they have various contests. And Nancy Pearl is a lady who is known as a national librarian. They had like over 450 people enter the contest, and I came in second place for the second book in the series. A really honor and amazing. And then there was a later award, another large award on the fourth book, which we'll get to sometime. But yeah, these
Next week.
have a lot of success.
Okay. Awesome. So we're going to have to stop here. I know you have many words. Just many words and many books. So
that's not true.
Also,
Gurhan has done podcasts with me before, so he knows I have lots to say. But thank you very much.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you next week also if you have the time, and we'll talk about the next book.
Always. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, who could resist, right? You could just go to booksafi.com/live and purchase the book. You want to read this book. because that's the beginning, and then becomes a horseman, and then the Earth's backbone. I'm just looking at him right here. And one thing is for sure, you're just gonna love it. That's for sure. She was being quite modest. In fact, she is pursuing these books and the upcoming books. Maybe a little movie action. We'll see. We'll see how she's gonna. I can see her. She's still online. She's laughing. Okay, now we're gonna take a little break from the books. Okay, just a little break. And what we're going to do is we are going to talk about editing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a book sales episode for everybody. However, we're going to talk about book editing. So I am sure some of the readers out there are saying, hey, what do I care? I just want to read the book, right? Just get it edited and give it to me. I'll read it. Well, to explain this matter, why readers actually should know about editing, okay, we invited a professional editor to our show, and she is going to explain why. And she is also a good friend. She is also from Austin, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jennie Rosenblum. Okay, hold on. There she is. She's always smiling. That's for sure.
Hey, because I'm in the process of ordering Headwaters on your app. I have not read this, and I am a Nancy Pearl fan. I've had the honor of meeting the woman years ago at a library convention, and anything she says is good has got to be fabulous. So, I've also read Pathan and Chris that's already spoke, and these are some really cool authors you've got today. Can't wait to hear
what do you know?
It's my favorite coming up. Yeah. So why is editing important to the reader? Well, first of all, most of us editors are also readers. I read about 250 to 300 books a year. And I can tell when things have been self-edited or when they've been professionally edited. And most of the time that's because of quality level. The editor is another set of eyes. We're looking at things very different than the author is looking at them. We're not trying to tell the story. We're trying to make the story well crafted, free of errors, making a higher level of language proficiency. How often has someone been reading something and you get stopped by a typo or a disconnect? One book that comes to mind was a shower that lasted 2.5 hours. Really? There was that much hot water? I mean, it's just, but that stops the reader in their tracks and pulls them out of the story. And anything that pulls a reader out of a story is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. I immediately have lost my connection with this book, and you've lost my attention span. So the editor is someone who goes in there and does all these little tie-ins to basically get the integrity of the book a little higher. The editor works for enhancement. The authors are great. They have these fabulous minds. They have these great stories, and it's all in their mind.
Tell me about it.
Sometimes they forget to put it on the paper. And so as a reader, you want to know, okay, wait, I thought this character was a woman in her 20s. Come to find out she's in her 60s. And and then I talk to the author and they're like, oh yeah, she's 63. And it's like, you don't tell us that. You jumped from her getting out of college with no time. Well, I know she's 63. Well, yeah, but your reader doesn't. So the editor is there to help with those little confusions, to make clarity, to help the author get it onto the page. They're also there for relevance. We have different angles and research ideas. I am not a creative person at all, but I am one of the most organized people you're ever going to meet, to the point where it will drive authors crazy. But that's my skill set. That's not their skill set. They have the creative mind, and they just need a little help, maybe looking at things at a different angle, an angle that their reader is going to be looking at. Yes. So different relevance, different perspective. I really enjoy editing books that I know nothing about.
Okay,
So-
so are we safe to say if the reader is just reading this book and all of a sudden he's confused? Okay.
And somebody didn't do their job.
Yes, somebody didn't do the job. Either the editor or the book is not edited. Let's put it that way.
I will throw a caveat in there,
Okay.
unless you want the reader to be confused. And
That's a different
really
story.
hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Another reason why
That
you
would be me.
Yeah. So if you
Okay.
want them to be confused, then even more so, you need another pair of eyes to make
Yeah,
sure that what you're
definitely.
thinking. Yes.
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 Okay, awesome. Well, that is actually a word or a bunch of words. Let's put it that way. She's.
I got one more thing.
Oh, please do. Go ahead.
So as a reader, you need to review these books. It's like going to a live performance and not applauding at the end. How would the actors know that you enjoyed it? How do these authors know that you've enjoyed it or not enjoyed it? Be honest and consistent and put at least a couple sentences in there of why you like to read it or why you didn't like to read it. The authors read these. They can help them tremendously as they grow their careers.
Yes.
But it also helps with sales numbers and algorithms and all that businessy stuff too. But
Yes.
writing a review it's just like leaving a performance without clapping. I mean, you really need to do that final thing when you're done.
Yes, that's important. Yes,
Yes.
you're right.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Jenny.
welcome. Anytime.
And by the way, I want to mention another thing. Jenny and I were talking the other day, and Jenny kindly accepted my offer to be on the show as an anchor, like me, So during the upcoming weeks, and she will be also talking to the authors, asking the same questions that I asked. I'm sure she's going to be asking harder questions.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a much easier guy. So I just want to mention that. And again, I do thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day. Talk to you later.
Okay. Stay cool.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is coming straight from a professional book editor. One more thing, and an ex-librarian. Okay, keep that in mind. It just can't get any better than this, guys. This is a good feedback. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the books. What we're going to do is, as promised, I usually try to do this. So on every show, I put... Oh, something is going on. Oh, of course. I'm in front of a green screen, and I'm going to go like this. You're seeing it through. Stick to your dreams. This is, ladies and gentlemen, by Dr. Gregory Gordon. I always, as many books as he has, feature his books because he is a medical doctor, not only a great guy, he has an cool imagination, and he does write children's books. And this one is, just like the other ones, this is a special book because the testimonial is from a famous football player. That is Vince Papale, a pro football player who played 3 seasons for Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, he gets all these recommendations and testimonials from cool people. Like I believe last week, that was, or the week before, I don't remember now. That was the testimonial was from the actor who played Moses. Okay, I forgot his name now. I can picture him, but I forgot his name. He's a very famous activist and an actor. So coming back to this. If you remember the movie Invincible, Mark Wahlberg was the character, and he played Vince Papale. And in this book, Mr. Papale, he gave a testimonial. It's a little bit longer but I'm just going to read a few sentences. Let me do this. Oh, glasses usually help, but I don't see my glasses around, so I'm just going to read them. Let me just do this. Maybe, yeah, see, this is not going well because of the green screen. Anyway, so I'm just going to read it. Okay, being the ultimate dreamer, I was touched after reading Stick to Your Dreams by Dr. Gregory K. Gordon. His clever use of poetry to tell this story of an impossible friendship was masterful. It is a tale of overcoming impossible odds to have your wildest dreams come true. And of course, it goes on. It's a bit long. I can't read it. I can't read the whole thing at the moment. However, of course, again, the testimonial coming from a three-time pro player, Mr. Papel. He's a cool guy. And watch the movie also. Mark Wahlberg played it. Okay, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, and it is full of cool illustrations. By the way, we gotta give some credit to Jason Martin. The illustrations are just awesome. So all you have to do is go to bookselfie.com/live and buy this book. Download the app, read it, and let your children read it. Hey, better yet, why don't you just read it with your children? Yes, much better. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me just show this book again. I'm going to lower it down like this because when I pick it up, it's this right here. Right here is not good because it's green. I have a green screen in the back and everything is getting mixed up, like this. How about this? Cool. Done with this book. Thank you very much, Greg. And again, he's a wonderful guy. He is a medical doctor, and you should just go to bookselfie.com/live. And this book is sitting on that page. And if you look at his bookstore on Book Selfie, you can actually see his other books. Testimonials are from really cool people. Okay, let's see. One person is patiently waiting. Let me just see where he is, ladies and gentlemen. So, if there is a green, which is a green right here, it shows through, and it is not showing up right. How about this? There you go. I know. Mr. Freeman, he's just looking at it as he's coming closer to the screen. He says, what's going on? Okay, this is the third book in the series. We actually, let me just show you the other ones. In the past weeks, we did these two books. And this week, we are with this book. It is Boson's Wave. I'm going to put them online. Let's put them online. And
okay, I'm awake.
talk about it.
There we go.
There we go. So this is, I don't see this, but it's a very little right here. It says H2 Lift Ship. It is the name
Right.
of the series, right?
Correct.
Yes, written by this gentleman, Bob Freeman. And he is going to make you chuckle and smile. Go ahead, Bob. Please do, because you're the man.
Okay, thank you. Well, the whole series is basically is to oppose the common Star Trek, Star Wars series where everything blows up, lasers and swords, and millions of people die virtually. And we decided to write a series where actually there are no rockets. Everything is done using solar sails. And we
Solar sails.
We figure out how to actually launch from Earth and how to continue the solar sail throughout the heliosphere. And of course, there's no sun on the far ends of our heliosphere, so we use nuclear-powered laser cannons to give the ships a boost. And the main character is Captain Graciela, who's of course human, and we have a canine, Jack, and a rank.
Oh, you got stuck. You froze. Let's see. Something is not
Letter
right.
from
Let me
Jupiter.
just send them a message.
Yeah, it cut out here. It's back
Okay,
again.
go. You're back. Yep.
Yeah, I'm using a satellite connection, so it's not always the best, unfortunately.
Oh,
But so what we start off is we backtrack a little.
your satellite connection. You must be sitting in a under the
we're-
trees or something.
Oh,
Yes. No.
okay, here we are.
Here we are.
And
Yes.
effectively we start off, like I said, going to Jupiter, and then we've got this goo which interfaces with the common DNA computers, which of course everyone uses, and they try to test it on different animals, and it ends up the octopus grabs the computer, dumps it in the tank, and it picks up all the information in the computer and escapes the prison, which we now call aquariums, which are actually prisons. And from then on, the story takes off, and we ended up having traveling to the end of how the end of the heliosphere, and they start a hive war by trying to upgrade some software.
Uh-huh.
And there's nothing the hives can do except they've got algae computers, which are basically leftover cells that are dropped off the asteroids and merged together and become they're actually pretty dumb. They're not sentient at all, but they gravitate toward the sun because that's where the energy is. And it's truly a complicated story because we have the computers, which are called biogels,
Uh-huh.
and they join the algae and start attacking the rest of the heliosphere. And just to keep it interesting.
Where does this imagination come from?
A misplaced youth.
Okay.
I actually lived, when I was growing up, we were across the street from a library, and I had a summer off where I basically read the whole library and all the science fiction, and I guess it just fermented in there. And everything I try to do is science-based because my background is public health microbiology, so everything has to have has to have a science base to it.
Okay.
And for some readers, of course, that may be a little too much science, but I'm trying to take them on a different path and understand how things work and how things could work.
That's okay. It's all good. So, I mean, I keep showing you the 3 books, but this is the 3rd book that we're talking about. Now, what I want to ask you, the question is, tell us about the review that you got. You know?
Oh, yeah, some people seem to like it.
Some people.
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me, but they think it's a whole different way of doing science fiction, which is I'll take as a compliment.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm fine with that. That's I'm not trying to follow it goes back to our TVs and our movies. Everything is pretty much the same. All the movies you see, they're fun. I enjoy watching them too, but they all sort of follow the same path and do the same thing.
Yes.
And I'm trying to do science fiction stories in a different method.
Different way. And in fact, that review was on onlinebookclub.org. Right. Yes. So if anybody wants to see the review, they are more than welcome to search for you and take a look at it.
Yeah, and I post the reviews on my webpage. There's a couple with 1 stars, but of course, I'm not surprised with that. And mostly 4 stars. And if I see a 5-star, they're lying or relative because the book is most people aren't going to like it all the way through because it is complicated.
Yes,
but it's written for the 8-year-old scientist who's bored to heck. He's bored with common stuff. He wants something new, and that kid needs to get some direction. That's what the book is written for.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Great. Thank you very much. And December, you said, for the 4th book, if I remember correctly.
Right. It's Bosun's Wave Squared, and I just got it back from the editor, and it's hacking through that thing and trying to get it out by December.
Okay, awesome. So we can't wait.
We'll certainly join you on the show when it's out and published.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you much too. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and again, it's always a pleasure to talk with Bob. Not only a great person, also a great author who can take you to other places. As he said, they're a little bit complicated because it's a sci-fi. He wants to be a different sci-fi kind of person, That's why he makes it a little bit different, and sometimes that may get people confused. But as far as I know, these books will make you happy, chuckle, and smile because he kind of adds this humor into the books. So all you have to do is go to bookselfie.com/live, buy the book or the books, the whole series. Fourth one is coming. So when you read all this, then you'll be ready for the fourth one, and make yourself happy, will you? It's awesome. So next one up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. This one. It's a horror book, as you see right here. The Farmer and the Scarecrow by Leif J. Erickson, right here. And he's got a bunch of books out, and he's mostly sci-fi, but he's got horror books out also. And I believe this is the last one that we're going to feature as a horror book. And if you read the back blurb, the first paragraph sounds like a story that you've heard before, but there's always a but, right, guys? The devil is in the details. Get it? I made that joke. I made it up. Horror book, the devil is in the details. Haha. My wife didn't like it, and she didn't laugh, but that's okay. It's a joke. It's a dad joke. Okay. Okay, so I'm afraid to say that it is a page turner. I'm really afraid to say it. You know why? Because like something is about it feels like something's about to jump out of the book, you know, and it's like, hey, should I turn this page? And because the scary thing is going to jump out of the book, that's why I'm saying I'm afraid to say that it's a page turner. Otherwise, it is a cool book, amazing to read. All you have to do is go to bookselfie.com/live and make it your own. Download the app and just read it while the lights are off. That's when it's really cool. Believe me, just try it. So that one is done. And we have come to the last, not the least, of course, book in our third episode of Books on Fire. Let me get that. She is patiently waiting. The Doctor's Wife, written by, this time I'm going to say it right, Myra. Let me just show her name and last name. McIlvain. Oh, come on, I messed it up again. I'm going to put her online. Okay. She's laughing at me again.
That's all right.
McIlvain.
It's McIlvain.
There you go. There you go. I said it. Finally, I said it. You know?
did it. Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, she is also from Texas. She is also from Austin. In fact, she lives about, I'm going to say about 10, 15 minutes away from where we are. Great lady. And definitely pleasure to talk to her. And I am going to ask her the same question or the comment, make the same comment. Okay, Myra, give us the hook. Tell us why we should buy this book and read this book. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for including me. This book is historical fiction, and it is the first in a series that I have written. And it was inspired because I live down on the Texas coast where there is a ghost town called Indianola. And it was a major German seaport that rivaled Galveston by the time of the Civil War. And then 2 hurricanes came through and blew the thing away. So I got very interested in it and decided I had to write about the people who lived in that area. And my problem is, I guess it's my problem, I love Texas history. I'm a 6th generation Texan, and that's all I know is Texas history. So I like to write about a period in history and put people into that period so that the history is accurate, but the people are having exciting lives. Well, this story is about a young woman named Amelia Anton. And she came with that early wave of Germans who came into Texas. She arrived in 1844, and she was, or 45, she was supposed to be a tutor for a little boy, and the child died on shipboard coming. And by the time they reached Galveston, her employer abandoned her, and she was left to empty chamber pots in the hotel until the very handsome and highly regarded Dr. Stein came and proposed marriage. And that seemed like the very thing for her to do, because he was highly regarded, and besides, he was handsome. So she married him, and he took her down to the coast where these Germans were waiting for wagons to take them inland to a community that people in Texas know as New Braunfels, and it had just been established. And they were waiting to be moved inland, but the weather was so bad they couldn't get wagons, and they were dying on the coast. So they landed and began to try to make a life on this bare coast, just Shell Beach. And he didn't turn out to be a husband like she thought he ought to be. And he was very busy saving the lives of these people. And she was struggling with, well, what is this marriage I have? Finally, she began to operate his mercantile business, and she began to get established with the community, still wondering what's going on. What is it with me that's causing these problems? Until she went to New Orleans on a buying trip for the mercantile business. And there she found out some things about herself that opened a whole new view of life and the world around her. And she came back a different person. So that is the gist of the story. And all the time you read it, you're finding about how those Germans built this incredible port, because that's included within the story.
The story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanted to show
Yes,
the other book.
that one. That is part of the series. Now there's one in
Yes.
between, but I have
Yes.
to say it's done by another publisher.
That's okay. We're not going to hold that against you.
This second one that you showed is Waters Plantation.
Yes.
And Amelia, who is in this story, and the person that she met in New Orleans is also in the story that you just showed, Waters Plantation. Yes. So it's a continuation of characters, because people reading the stories kept saying, well, what's happening to these people? They wanted to know. And so that's what it is. It's a series.
So read the book.
Yes,
right.
Read the book.
Okay, awesome. I do thank you very much. And I hate to say that you're the last person. Okay, you were patiently waiting over there.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We shall see you on the next one.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I am sure you people all gathered too. Wonderful person, great author, who writes awesome books, including, of course, this one. And, well, she's a Texan, so she writes all about Texas, right? Just don't wait. Just great stories don't read themselves. Go to bookselfie.com/live, purchase the book, download the app, and immerse yourself into an amazing story or stories. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this actually concludes today's live event. Again, we are live every Saturday at 2 p.m. CST on bookselfie.com/live. And the show is also syndicated live on 5 more of our social channels: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Follow us on socials, our socials, and subscribe to YouTube channel so that you will be notified as soon as we have something cool for you. Okay, so I'm going to expand on that. That is important. We need your help on our YouTube channel. We need you to subscribe to our channel, because when we reach to a certain number of subscribers, we get more privileges to provide much cooler episodes. So go to youtube.com right, at Book Selfie, and subscribe. That will actually be a great help for us. And if you're an author, go to bookselfie.com and just scroll all the way down to the footer where you will see a button that says Join Books on Fire. Click that button, fill out the form, and boom, your books and even you will be on the show, baby. And in the meantime, keep in mind that you can always find the older episodes of Book Selfie or Books on Fire on YouTube and on our site. Furthermore, our show is also on major podcast channels such as Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, Apple, Google, Deezer, and then some. Until the next live one, read a book, will you? Bye-bye.
Welcome to Book Selfie. You just tuned yourself to the coolest place to buy your books to read and listen. It is the site where readers find the niftiest books, awesomest stories from the coolest authors. It is the place that books a lot